morning. Welcome to Wayne J's 10 Minutes to Rant. Normally what I'm going to be doing here is I take 10 minutes and I bitch and complain about everything I need to. Normally I just do this in an MP3 format and run it off my webpage, but I had a friend who conned me into trying the YouTube thing. I do look a little rough. I've actually had a back injury, so I've been out of commission for about 3 weeks. Yes, I do know that the camera is over here, right there. The reason I do that is because side profile kind of makes it harder for people to see who I am. And for those who do recognize me, yes, I was in the Pooter Snooter video. Look it up. Primarily for today, I'm going to stay in my home state, the state of Michigan, who is run by our fearless leader, Granny. First thing, Michigan's state economy is terrible. We're like in our own little private world right now. It feels like we're a third world nation attached to, the greatest one on the planet. Number one, Granny wants to cut the budget. She wants to be able to bring a little money back into the state. So she's charging taxes on newspapers, like trying to institute a tax on vending machines, things like that, little small taxes. That's called nitpicking. Yeah, it drives you crazy. It's really ugly, very stupid, don't understand. The next thing she did is to be able to cut the budget, she's releasing inmates early from prison. I mean, probably not the harshest crimes in the world. She's just releasing them on early, whatever, and that's to save money from, funneling money down into the prisons. The next thing she did is cut the police force. So she released inmates early and then cut the police force. Now, here's the problem with that. You're cutting the police force. You're cutting the state police force. And you're leaving it up to the individual cities to take up the slack. Well, the problem is these individual cities don't have anything to take up the slack. They can't even afford to buy, to hire new policemen, to train these people. I mean, this is ridiculous how she's doing this. Meanwhile, we're still paying for Canada's garbage. Canada is bringing garbage into Michigan, and we are paying them for it. What? Okay, yeah. So, state of Michigan, the affairs here in the state of Michigan, not good. Not good at all. While she's so busy worrying about all this, Comerica Bank, Comerica Park, where the Tigers play, baby, Comerica Bank is pulling out and moving to Texas. They are choosing another state as their home, because this one is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Not real sure why. It's just one of those things. They're bailing out. They're bailing out. They can't stay here anymore. When they do that, Michigan once again is losing a lot of jobs. I was reading in a local newspaper, Macomb County, one of the counties in Michigan, between December and January lost 100,000 jobs. If that is the way the state economy is going, pretty soon I won't even be able to afford to get online to, do any of this. I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible here. One of the only stable things that we have left is Daimler Chrysler, as GM has already just ransacked it. It left. Unfortunately, the state has depended so much on the automobile industry that it has let itself, just dwindle away. As the automobile industry dwindles away, as do we, as a state. Daimler Chrysler, one of the only ones that we have left that is actually, creating home jobs, has noticed that Chrysler is lagging. They're dragging their feet. They're not producing what they needed to. So they're trying to get rid of Chrysler. Now, guaranteed, if they break off and Chrysler becomes its own entity, it will fail. It will collapse. They're in talks right now of selling Chrysler to another automobile company. And the person that they're talking to is General Motors. General Motors has already left. They have already taken everything they can. They've outsourced so much that now they're going to buy Chrysler, one of the only ones that are left in the state, and then they're going to get rid of it. They are going to blend it in. All the people that have their jobs here are not going to have their jobs. They're going to merge. They're going to merge all their, their logistics and their outside buying, and all that stuff is going to be merged. So you're talking about more people losing jobs. This state can't handle that. The normal person in the state of Michigan who makes money at a solid job, a 40-hour-a-week job, you're talking 40 hours a week on average in my locale. On average, you're talking they make probably anywhere between $9 and $11 an hour. Between $9 and $11 an hour, they cannot afford the cost of living. By the time, we'll say a week, we'll just say a week. At the end of the week, the average person making between $9 and $11 an hour, after paying bills, paying gas, which is, fluctuates between $2.35 up to $2.59 in a day. These people, between buying your gas and going to the grocery store and buying your food, especially if you're one person. If you're one person living in an apartment even, your rent payment, your rent payment in a nice area, in the Detroit area, let's say, around the Detroit area, to rent a nice place, you're talking at least $600 to $700, and that's a month. So you break it down by week, and you're looking at what, 150 a week for a $700 a month apartment. Excuse me. So anyway, when you break it down and you do all the math, what it ended up being was something like, at the end of a week, if they were to take out everything they did, you're talking like $50 left for whatever. Now, whatever most of the time constitutes trying to get out, go do something. The only thing I can say is the only way to be able to save money in Michigan would be to work, come home, don't eat, go back to work, come back home, don't eat, eat on a Wednesday maybe. It's terrible, and they really need to do something. The administration needs to change. I was hoping it was going to change the last time around, and it didn't. One more thing in the state of Michigan today. I promise I won't do too many of Michigan. The thing about Michigan, because the economy is so low, people are trying to do whatever they can, and that even includes doing a little bit of naughty stuff. Two gentlemen walked up to an elderly woman's house, knocked on the door, said that they did some roofing work, and she owed them like $175. She paid, actually she went back to her bedroom to get her purse to give them the money for doing the roof work. They came in, because the door was open, they came in, and just walked right by her. One went into the bedroom, stole all of her money, and left. When they left, they had all of her money. They took the money out of her hand and booked. Well, here's the thing. She filed a police report. Number one, she let him in a house. Number two, she said she never authorized any work. So why the hell would you go back and get money to pay them? I mean, seriously. It's kind of a 50-50 fault here. Number one, she's absent-minded. Why would you ever let somebody like that into your house? If you never authorized any repairs, you're not going to pay people to do repairs you never even knew was going on. Doesn't even make any sense. But anyway, that's primarily what life is getting to here, and it's ugly. This is Wayne J. 10 Minutes Rant. Peace.